Geraldo subtweeted you. Abdul El Sayed is a formidable candidate for Senate, a scholar, a public health doctor, a captain of school, lacrosse, wrestling, and football team. Still, El Sayed's narrow win in Michigan primary shows any movement to remake the Democratic Party must be more robustly welcome to black voters. It cannot be befriend podcasts who believe 9/11 or 10/7 was somehow self-inflicted. What does that have to do with black voters? Bro, people are so gross about the way they talk about black people, dude. It's just literally a talking point. That's it. Nobody ever gives a shit about what black people actually care about. It is crazy. The only time, I cannot deal with this. Like, look, I've always yelled about the Republicans will tokenize black people, and the only way that they weaponize black people is to say like, here's a black representative from a white district who will come out on CPAC and say, Donald Trump is not a racist. I'm a black man. I know what racism is. Donald Trump's not a racist. Like, that's their whole, that's their whole purpose, the purpose that they serve in the Republican Party. Nowadays, it's turning into that for the Democrats too, man. Nobody ever gives a shit about what black people care about. They just only talk about black people when there's a goddamn election happening, and they can just say, oh, our guys are backed by, black folk. And therefore, if you actually want to give everybody health care, then you're anti-black. Oh, you have a problem with, America's relationship with Israel? Oh, you must hate black people. It's like, what are you saying? Please start caring about black issues. Stop just only remembering that black people exist when you can use black people as a talking point. It's so cynical, dude. It is crazy. It's crazy. And it's almost always white folk doing it too. It's never like, there are some black consultants in the party that will do it every now and then. Like, there's that one lady that was with Joe Biden who goes on Fox News all the time. But like, it is by and large a phenomena fomented and cynically weaponized by white people. I never, in the real world especially, I never hear from black people who are just simply like, me and my community really, really want to keep giving billions of dollars of our taxes to Israel. That's something that's never top of mind. That's never top of mind. As a matter of fact, I've been up and down Donovan's district that he won, right, in the final push that we did. And most people, especially black people that we talk to, right, it's a black district. Black people that we talk to, they don't give a shit about Israel one way or another. They just don't care. They especially even younger black voters like that many of them I talk to were just like, I don't really know anything about Israel. I don't really give a shit about AIPAC. Like, I give a shit about DTE, The idea that black voters unconditionally support Israel is so ridiculous. Very anti-black of you to forget about Cory Booker. He cares. Okay, please. We're having a serious conversation. Defending you against CNN. Oh, yeah, I saw this one. Hasan Piker has said he was obviously referring to blowback from a foreign policy when he insensitively said America deserved 9/11, and he's since apologized for and disowned that remark. And he didn't say he didn't care about rape or sexual violence on October 7. He said that even if it did happen, it doesn't change the dynamic for me in relation to the unjustified and genocidal Israeli response to October 7. Paul Begala, feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to disagree with or oppose us on the hum, but at least don't misquote or misrepresent him in order to make your argument and make him your boogeyman. I grew up in Donovan's district in Southwest Detroit. There are several full neighborhood blocks that district that have 3 houses on them or none, where they used to have 40. Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly. That's what black people care about. Okay, the fact that there was a level of black wealth that existed pre 2008, and then the housing market destroyed it. Okay, the housing market gutted it. The housing market eviscerated it. That's what black people care about. That's what all working class folk care about, not just black people in general. So, it's very, very annoying. It's very, very annoying. It's very cynical. It's very cynical the way that these guys talk about black people, and they never talk about black people until it's time for an election. It makes me so mad. White Democratic Party consultants only remember black people exist when they can use them as a talking point against more progressive politicians in general. It's really up. And speaking of which, it didn't work. It didn't even work. Abdul El-Sayed put numbers up in Detroit, for the record. Abdul El-Sayed did far better than Bernie Sanders did, for the record. So we're going to make that comparison. We're obviously going to look at the Bernie Sanders performance, something that I have always brought up with respect to Bernie's rise in 2016 and how there was a wonderful opportunity there. Something that has been forgotten is the fact that this was an anti-Hillary vote as well. A lot of people were voting against Hillary Rodham Clinton in Michigan, and I think that was kind of lost in this conversation. But we'll get into it. Also, Corey cooked in the city compared to rural county. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, this is the classic example. It sucks that this is who Abdul El-Sayed has chosen to campaign with. If you think this won't depress black turnout, you're not paying attention. Abdul's going to throw our chances of winning the Senate away because he won't distance himself from this bigot. Is so funny because I spent every waking moment leading up to the election with my main man, Donovan McKinney. I have gotten more black representatives elected into office this cycle than Ethan Wolf ever will in his entire career. Okay? Shut the fuck up. This is bullshit. You can keep posturing with clips out of fucking context all day, every day. Okay? Liberals are in the death throes of identity politics. When people try to call me establishment, I look at that as a slur, particularly as an African-American candidate.
I'm trying to figure out who the establishment is, right? I think that when we talk about...
That's great. Dude, that's awesome. First of all, that's awesome. That's awesome. Crowley, I'm calling you as your campaign manager, David Crowley, keep posting that shit. Okay? Now that right there, that's the good stuff. Okay? I love that this materialized. From a white lady podcaster, like a chorus podcaster, who was like, just call black people the N-word instead of using the other word, establishment. And then Jasmine Crockett was like, hell yes, sis. And she highlighted it, gave it the nod of approval. And now it is turned into like a legitimate talking point. It's awesome. This is so incredibly stupid. This is such an incredibly stupid thing to say. Hell yeah.
The establishment, I don't know who that is. I'm a kid that grew up in 53206 zip code.
Yeah. Haley Stevens. I mean, you would think Haley Stevens was black the way Twitter is talking about it. Like literally, they were like, oh, you defanged black power in the state of Michigan, is like some of the takes that I saw about Abdul from some of the most insane people in the commentariat. And I was like, bro, she's a white woman. Like, the f are you talking about? Like, she's a white woman. You're making it seem like she's a civil rights hero. What the f are you talking about? Like, here's the thing. I don't think people in Detroit perceive it as that. Haley Stevens is not a black woman, and she's not a Jewish woman. She is a white Christian woman. Okay? What the hell is going on? Like, that argument is so interesting because, like, okay, so like between Donovan McKinney and Shri Thanadar, then Shri is the actual black candidate in the race. Is that the idiotic argument we're making? Shri's the one with the establishment backing. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is so stupid. Why can't we be normal about this shit?
My parents was drug addicts and suffered from mental health. I worked extremely hard to be where I am today. And so when people try to call me the establishment, I look at that as a slur, particularly as an African-American candidate. And so I have never ran for office to protect the establishment. I've always been here to protect the people. That's my foundation. That's what I'm going to continue to do as a county executive and what I'm going to do as the governor of Wisconsin.
Oh, you're doing the race science wrong. Pro-Israel equals Jewish, centrist equals black. Therefore, Stevens, black and Jewish. Okay, that makes sense. Literally, yes, Daria Eliza won't be led into the Black Caucus. Yeah, I saw this. Daria Eliza Avila Chevalier's entry into the Black Caucus isn't a guarantee. Not if she doesn't support Hakeem along with other issues, one senior member told Axios. Another said, DAC absolutely will not be welcomed if she doesn't support Hakeem. But she's black. Like, this isn't like, is there a precedent for this? Like, are you going to do the same to Chris Rabb? Like, not only are these black candidates, but they're from black districts too. You know what I mean? It's not like a situation like, you know, normally when you have like a Republican, like a black Republican will come from like an overwhelmingly white district. You know what I mean? Like, these are black Democrats that are coming from sometimes overwhelmingly black districts. Like Chris Rabb is from the blackest district in the country, right? Chris Rabb represents the blackest district in the country. You cannot deny Chris Rabb entry into the Congressional Black Caucus, not only because of his like activism background, his familial lineage, like, but also, again, it's important. Like the districts that you come from matter, right? The districts that you come from also matter. Like if Daria Liza, as a Afro-Latina, came from like, I don't know, like an overwhelmingly white district, you could just be like, oh, this is a representational pick, but it doesn't matter. Like they're not in charge of, they're not, you know, responsible for like a black district. Wasn't Tim Scott invited to the CBC? Was he? Like Tim Scott is the example I was thinking of, right? So Tim Scott is the example I was thinking of. Tim Scott and also Byron Donalds too. They don't come from black districts. They are voted by white people. Like they're voted into office by white people. So it makes sense. As to he was invited in 2010 but declined. That's crazy. Because if Chris, Mayla, and Dari all refuse to join, if any of them are denied entry, then the Black Caucus won't be able to deny any of them. I think so too. I'm in Byron's district. It's all white races. Yeah. It makes sense as to why CBC could be like, okay, you're not, like your district is not a black district. You're not, you know, representative of like black issues. That makes sense. You can't do that for Daria Liza. I guess maybe you could do that for Maylot. Maylot is, Denver's pretty white too. White and Hispanic. But even then that would be bullshit regardless. Because these are Democrats. Yeah, Daria Liza literally represents Harlem. That's an insane thing to do. Donovan McKinney, Chris Rabb, Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, Maylot Quiros. These are black candidates who, with the exception of Maylot, represent black districts. Yeah, Summerlee's district is only 25% black and she's in the CBC. Okay. If your district has 25% black people, that's a black enough district, chatter. 25% is more than double the percentage of black people in the national average. Pittsburgh can be considered a black district. It's very significant. If it's half, if it's less than half, then it's not like a particularly black district. If they don't want her, she still have the Carne Asada invite. I'm sorry, but if the establishment of the CBC think they can take on Detroit, Philly, Harlem, Denver, and more, they're insane. I mean, Denver is... DSA needs to reach out to more black communities. They have like no presence with us. Yes, I know. Trust me. I know. But I think this election cycle, we've made tremendous inroads as far as DSA representation. Again, the candidates that I've worked with closely, as you know, as you've seen on this broadcast, many of them are black. And the overwhelming majority are not only black, but also from black districts, including Donovan actually unseating Shri Tanadar to bring back black political representation to a black city. It's also kind of funny. You're not correctly representing Chris Rabb's opinion on Jeffries. I actually don't know what Chris Rabb... Yeah, he hasn't opposed Hakeem Jeffries. Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't inferring that he does. I was just simply stating that this is like a part of the same coalition. Donovan seems like such a nice dude. He's so cool. I love him. I love all the candidates that we work with this season, you know? It's awesome. They're so... What a treat it's been. He hasn't said he'll support Jeffries either. He said he'll see what his options are and then decide. Yeah. You're right about Colorado's first district. There's only 9% black. That's actually more... That's a higher percentage of black people in Colorado one than I thought. I thought it was like 3%. This is the same Congressional Black Caucus whose executive committee voted unanimously to invite Republican Rep. Alan West and Tim Scott to join. West was a fanatical Muslim basher who boasted holding a civilian at gunpoint in Iraq, and Scott's career was bankrolled by Larry Ellison. So they both had more in common with Hakeem Jeffries than Chevalier, at least where it really counts. People on Reddit love the energy. Donovan McKinney, DSA endorsed House candidate for Michigan's 13th district. He's the man. Where were we? Oh, we were talking about establishment equals black or establishment equals slur. All right, I'm going to skip the rest of this.